This is a narration for some Alsós hands we just had recently. In this three-player hand, left-hand opponent said Terc. I said Trull with the bell, Trull cards in hand. In hindsight, I might have said tried an ultimo, but I was quite weak in the side suits. But it could have worked actually, because there's only 3 possible cards out there in the defense hand. 3 possible trumps, I mean. Now my opponent across also said Terc, which was an issue because both were in under, so it was both under high terces, not in trumps, so they cancelled each other out. So what they should have done is, after hearing that the first defender said Terc, the second defender, if he thinks is the weaker one, should have just kept silent about the Terc. Or if even if he's the stronger one, after hearing that the first defender has an under Terc, he still should have probably kept quiet or say that his one is lower, because if they both have an under high Terc that are not in trumps, in Alsós they would cancel each other out, so no one would get the 20 points. It's better to weak defender having the 20 points than none of them having, so that was a mistake there on my part. Not announcing ulti was a sort of an oversight because of the weak side suits. I wasn't sure, but I was sure that I'm gonna make the Trull at least. So the tricks play out, and there was a revoke later on when suit wasn't followed, so there's a cut in the video, but basically it was quite straightforward from there. This is the revoke, so the left-hand opponent had the trump, so I overtook it with under. Then I played my 9 to draw out remaining trumps, and since it fell, all the trumps fell in this trick, I didn't continue with the bell ace, but instead I tried to make my over of acorns a winner, which indeed it happened, with the king coming out later on. So I took the opportunity to save the 7, but there was no real danger really at this point. Making sure to keep a trump for the last trick, so I get 10 points for that, and I got the game and also the Trull, even though they had the Terces. That's it for this hand. In this hand it will be also a 3-player hand that I will analyze. The declarer is purple on my right, so we are defending with blue further down the table, and hearts will be accepted as trumps. So as you can see, I'm not really good in hearts, so I of course reject it. My right hand opponent, purple, will take it, and once we pick up the back cards, you will see a quite interesting scenario that I will face, that I will encounter. So yes, purple accepted, didn't say anything up front. Now, as you can tell, I have a Kvint in leaves, under of leaves Kvint, but I might not win a single trick because I don't have trumps. That Kvint has a 10, but the 10 might not win a trick because it might get trumped in subsequent tricks, and none of the other suit cards predict any trick winners. Now, interestingly, a she-bear was done by my defending partner blue, so makes his hand stronger. After he'll discard the 4 cards that he has to discard. I was the dealer, so purple will lead, declarer will lead, and he didn't have any announcements. No Kunst or Figura was announced, so no melds or bonuses, which means that blue defender has a better option of contraing the game, so he will do just that. So let's see how purple leads to the first trick. So it's a bell lead. Now he gets the contra and a terz announced from defender blue. So there will be a terz and a contra. Now at this point I could have announced my Kvint and killing my strong defender partner's terz, but and score 100 points. So probably it could have been a valid step, because no absolute or 100 was announced from the declarer, so it's unlikely he will be able to get 100 points from tricks, unless it was severely under-announced in his hand. So I could have said my Kvint, and then in the second trick say Gyerünk, and he would give up probably. So what I did was I left the terz on my partner, played my 10 and said Gyerünk. So I still said Gyerünk on behalf of our team for the declarer purple to give up, which he did not, because he was only aware of the terz announced by blue. So he thought that he might have a chance of winning, even though there's a terz against him. So this meant that the contra game is 2 points, the Gyerünk makes it 4. So with my Kvint announcement he would have probably given up on the Gyerünk, and we would have won 2 pennies or 2 points. But since I kept hush-hush about the Kvint, he only knows about the terz, and he gave it a shot, so now the game is worth 4 points. Now as the hand progresses, I was trying obviously I don't have much to smear at this point, so when I think I'll lose a trick, I'll just put my 0-point cards in the trick, and when I can see that my partner is winning the trick, I'll give away my 2-point cards. Not much contribution. The only contribution I had was that 10 of leaves 10 points card. Now because I have so many leaves, this will get trumped, so I can give away the under, just 2 more points. And there's a mistake. The trick pile was not the right trick pile where this trick was put, so I'll just highlight that fact, and now it will be remedied. And the hand will progress like this, and in the end defender blue had like 10-15 points on the declarer. So it was not super tight, but it could have been lost actually. So there was a slight chance of purple making the contract. But in the end it was like 15 points short, so we ended up having won 4 points instead of 2. In this hand it's a 2-player game that I was playing with opponent red, Thomas, as you can see it on the screen. And this was a monster hand for him, so he had lots of trumps and many announcements he could make, but it turned out to be not as good for him or not as bad for me. You will see in a bit why. And this hand illustrates a nice unique aspect of 2-player Alsós. where in some cases you have a fighting chance against a monster hand, and this works really in 2 players only. You'll see why. So deal is in packets of 4, as it's normal for 2-player Alsós. You can see I have decent acorns. I probably would have taken acorns if I have the option, but the turned up trumps are hearts, so I'm definitely not gonna choose hearts. Let's see what my opponent does. No big surprises. He will take hearts, and let's see if there's a she-bear. No she-bear, and the 8 of hearts is visible in the talon, so I'll pass on hearts and he will take hearts and won't say anything up front. So we will pick up our cards, the back cards. After that's clear. Oh, look again, no hearts at all, and I got some more bells and an acorn and a leaf, but it's not looking good against hearts contract. I might have like 2 tricks in there with those 10s, but not much else I can do about hearts contract. So now I will write down his announcements, because in 2 players declarer announces first, and then the defender or the opponent will respond to that and then lead to the first trick. So it's slightly different than how 3-player is normally played. So defender has all the advantages that they can be given. So you can see me write down his list of announcements. So he's announcing quite a lot. He will announce 100, 200 trull, all trumps, which will be the crucial part of the announcements, and I think he will announce Kvint as well. But let's see. I think we were discussing, or he was just collecting his thoughts to see what he can announce. You can see there's a 3-player game going on the right hand side of the table. So this was a special occasion where we tried both 2-player and 3-player games at the same time in a rotation. So hearts is the accepted trumps. And let's wait for me to write down the announcements. And there you go. So I zoom in. So he announced 100 straight away. So nothing was said up front. Maybe he picked up many more hearts from the back, and that's why he didn't consider an absolute from front. So 100 to 200, because he has a Kvint, which is worth 100 points. So if he can make 100, he can make 200 with that meld. There's the trull, and he will also announce all trumps. It just takes a while to consider that announcement. So I'll note down all trumps as well, which wins. It means that you have to win all the point-worthy trumps, in this case hearts, that there are. So everything except the 7 and the 8 of hearts. It's not an issue, because the 8 of hearts is out of play. He doesn't need that. He said trull, so he must have the 7 as well. Obviously he doesn't want to pick up the 8 in that case. What he probably missed, having that many trumps, is an ultimo announcement. So he had the 7, he said true, he has all the trumps in the world, so he should have said ultimo and costs, as it turns out. So I doubled the all trumps because he said Kvint. So he said the Kvint. From my cards I was guessing that the Kvint is in trumps, but if he doesn't have all the top 6 cards of trumps, so down ace, king, over, under, 10 and 9, so if he doesn't have all of those, then he intends to capture one of those, in which he did. So at the end of the first trick it was clear that he doesn't have the ace of trumps, ace of hearts. I didn't have it either, so that's why I said contra to it, because that missing card is in the talon, and that's why his all trumps will fail. But because of his Kvint announcement I was warned about this possibility. Of course he could have bluffed, but it wasn't a bluff this time. So I said contra to the all trumps, making it the most expensive part of the contract for 12 points. 6 for the all trumps, double that for 12. Now he has the queen, so he's gonna have the game definitely. I don't have trumps, so the rule is out of question. The only thing that can fail is the 100 and the 200. Now because he had the trump king and trump over for the Bela, the 20-point Bela that always scores, he actually has 120 points in melds. So it is very likely that he'll be able to do the 200. Now as we play the hand, I obviously just throw away loser cards and try to make my 10 of bells and 10 of acorns a winner, so I can save those, which goes against his 100 attempt. I'm not hoping to win the game by any means. So I'm trying to just save enough cards that those 10s are protected, so I keep one bell next to those 10s, just in case. And as the hand progressed and turns out that he would have needed that ace of trumps for his 100. So because it wasn't with me, and I capture a king, so the most I could take out of that bell trick. Because I didn't have the ace of trumps, he didn't capture that 11 extra points. So in the end it meant that he did not make 100. He made the 200 though, because he had 80 something points, and with the 120 points from melds, the Kvint and the Bela, he was more than comfortable to make the 200. So in the end he made 200 and through failed the 100, which I did not contra, and failed the all trumps, which I did contra. So that's 12 points minus. The 100 is a 4 points minus, so minus 16 points. He made the 200 rule and the game for 4 plus 2 plus 1, 7 points. So 16 minus 7, 9 points victory for me at the end. So this is specific to 2 players because you have better information from whoever announces all trumps when they announce their meld, that they are missing a card. Of course they can bluff and hope for a contra so they can say a contra on it, but if they do not bluff and you in your hand do not have any trumps that are valuable, so you might have the 7 or the 8 of trumps, but if you don't have anything other than that and there's no chance for a talon exchange or a she-bear, and the possibly missing card is not seen in the talon, then you can contra the all trumps announcements, because there might be a missing card and you're hoping that your opponent is not bluffing. in this case it worked out fine. So we are just counting up the points, and there will be payment soon according to the calculation I just given you. So that's it for this hand. In this hand, it's another two-player game with a tight absolute announcement. So bells will be bid by myself. So I will go in bells after nobody went in hearts. So the reason I didn't go in hearts is, as you can see, I have the heart under and the 10, so it would have been a nice hearts game. But I'm even better in bells. I also have the 9, so bells would be better for me. And because if hearts gets rejected, then bells is the highest trump suit that can be bid. There's a chance that my opponent goes no trumps. But I was not too worried about no trumps. I had some 10, so I could have defended against the no trumps reasonably well. So I took bells instead, and nothing up front. I didn't say anything. As you can see, it's a quite decent hand. Leaves are losers. Acorns, there's a chance I can maybe capture the 10 of acorns. There's a good chance I can save the 10 of hearts, and probably I have 3 or 4 tricks in trumps. So I have a quart there with the over of bells quart, so that's 50 points. That's good for the game. I might have attempted a trull and hope that I can capture the missing 7 of bells, but I just went for an absolute. So it's a bit of a borderline absolute, because leaves I will lose. I lose the ace of hearts. I will likely lose the 10 of acorns, but I have good winners in bells. Ace of bells will likely escape as well. So I attempted an absolute to make it a bit more valuable. So the game with the quart I was quite comfortable with. So the play was focusing on trying to capture the most points in tricks, because for the absolute I cannot use melds. I only need, and I can only use trick points. So that's why I announced the quart, but I didn't announce my over of hearts stats. I didn't need that for the game, and it was better not to let my opponent know that I have the 10 of hearts, so that he doesn't try to capture it with his ace. So I just announced the quart, kept hush hush about the over of hearts stats. I let out a trick in acorns. It was a worthless trick, and it's better that my opponent is on lead because of this. Now my 10 is much safer, unless he's void in hearts after this trick, but then I can still try to get all his trumps out and then make my 10 of hearts winner. So he gives me that, so now I'm even maximizing. I want to make sure that my over is safe as well. So now I will start drawing trumps and see what he has. So I have 2 short tricks with the under and the 9. There would have been the trull actually if I announced trull. Probably that was a bit of a missed opportunity, to be honest. Now comes the 9. Let's see if I can. Oh, that's an 8. So his ace, if he has the ace of trumps, it will win a trick. So I'm not playing trumps anymore. I'll give out the trick with my loser leaf. I'm not expecting any winners in leaves either. So let's see what he plays now. another heart, so I must take it with the 10. I think I'll play my leaf under again to try to give him the trick, which he will take with the over. Oh, he comes out with the 10, hoping that I don't have the ace, but I do have the ace, so that's good, because now my king will either win a trick or draw out trumps, so it wins a trick. So now he might still have the ace of bells, so I'm trying to lure it out if that's the case. He takes it with the king. The over is taken by the king. And he doesn't have the ace, luckily, so I get the last trick and I get to save my 10 of bells as well. So in the end I made absolute a bit tightly, but I try to maximize my points by not taking the bait on low value cards with an ace or a 10, so I managed to make the most out of it. It could have failed if he has the ace of trumps, because then not only he takes my 10, but he takes the 10 points for the last trick, so that would have cost me the absolute. It was a bit of a risk, but it was worth taking in this case. So that's the analysis of the last hand of this video. I hope it was useful and gave you insight into how 2-player and 3-player Alsós works, how they differ, and give it a shot.